Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Neil, where I'm about to fight a 2,000-point battle between my Astra Militarum and Ian's Tyranids with their brand new codex and all of their special shiny goodness. But you may have noticed that the view you are seeing is not what you normally see, because today we are going to be playing with the Tempest of War cards, and I wanted to go over how they work and what you have to do, because there's things you need to do before you even set up the battlefield. So before any terrain is even placed, you need to figure out some things and figure out what's going on. So essentially what happens in this deck here is you've got Open War and Maelstrom of War combined into one deck, into one card set. So they come with cards, they come with a deployment zone, they come with a primary mission, they come with a mission rule, and then they come with two secondary objective decks. They're the exact same, and they're just set up so you can have two players playing with them, because that's what you're playing. The way it works is before anything starts out here, you essentially you select your battle size and you get your armies together so you know what you're going to be playing with. But then you have to determine your missions. And the way it works is you randomly select cards from these to determine what it is. So today, for instance, we are going to be playing Spearhead Assault. So we've got our deployment zone there. So it's got an interesting looking one there. That's so cool. All right, that sounds interesting. A circle in the middle, but as opposed to being in the table quarters, you're on table halves, and it kind of goes up towards a point in the middle there. So interesting. I'm excited to see how that one works out. So that's what we're going to have working on there. That's going to be our deployment. Then you choose a primary mission. So for this one, we are going to be playing priority targets. This is the way it works. So for this one, it's in the second, third, fourth, and fifth battle rounds. At the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is scores 5 victory points for each of the following conditions that they satisfy. They control one or more objective markers. They control more objective markers than their opponent controls. And then at the end of the battle, each player scores additional 5 victory points for each objective marker they control to a maximum of 20 victory points. Because the way it works now, you actually place objective markers differently. So the way you have it is that as opposed to being told where you place it based upon the mission, you're actually going to take turns with your opponent placing these objectives on the table after you set up your terrain. So for a strike force mission, like we're going to be playing 2,000 points, you will be doing 5 objectives. And if you're doing an incursion size mission, you will be doing 4 objectives. So that's why they max them out at 20 points there, so it can work for incursion and for strike force. So that will be the primary mission. We're trying to hold an objective, and we're trying to hold more than our opponent for this. Then we have mission rules. No, I think I messed that up. Oh, no, that's fine. Wrong one. That was from the same deck over here. This is the one that's supposed to be over here. All right. Then we have mission rules. Delayed reserves. In this mission, until the start of the third battle round, each time a strategic reserve or reinforcement unit from a player's army wishes to arrive on the battlefield, that player must make a reserve roll for it. To do so, the player rolls 1d6, adding 1 to the result if it is the third battle round. On a 3+, the unit arrives as normal. Otherwise, the reserve roll fails, and that unit does not arrive this turn. So interesting. So if you're trying to hold things back and hold them in reserves, this mission would not work for you. So they've got a whole bunch, like a whole deck of each of these ones that you can choose from, and that figures out your mission. So that's the basic mission that we're going to be playing there. Then we each have a secondary objective deck here. And essentially what happens with these is that during your command phase, you draw up to 3 active cards that you will have on that you're trying to achieve. If you achieve any of the actions on those cards, you will score, unless otherwise noted, it says 5 points. You can discard at the end of your turn any active objective cards that you don't want to use. And we also have access to a stratagem, which will allow us to spend a CP in order to discard a card in our command phase. So at the end of our command phase, we can discard a card and generate a new one. So if we generate the 3 and we're like, oh, there's nothing here that I can do, I'm going to be falling behind if I don't get some points, you can then just decide to discard one for a CP and then draw another one, and then you should be good to go. So that is how our mission is going to be. So we will come back to you after we've set up the board. So for the guard, I'll be running a battalion detachment. Leading off that detachment, I have 2 tank commanders and a company commander. We have 3 10-man infantry squads. We have a 6-man squad of Bulgren. We have a 3-tank squadron of exterminators. We have a wyvern. We have a manticore. And last but not least, we have a vendetta. And for the Tyranids, he'll be running a patrol detachment and a battalion detachment. Leading off the patrol detachment, we have a flyrant. We have a 10-man squad of hormagaunts. Leading off the battalion, we have a neurothrope. We have a hive tyrant on foot, and we have a Tyranid prime. We have 3 squads of warriors, 1 9-man, 1 5-man, and 1 4-man. We have a 3-man squad of zoanthropes. We have a 3-man squad of raveners. We have a maliceptor. We have a 3-man squad of Tyrant Guard. Those guns are not there. We have a parasite of Mortrex. And last but not least, we have 2 exocrines. And like that, we are deployed. So the story that we've got going on here, because you already got the mission there when I was going over the cards, is that the Tyranid Hive Fleet has arrived in this sector and is coming to consume all as they are wont to do. And the Loyal Guard are holding the line for humanity, trying to stave off this xenos invasion before it just consumes the whole planet, or at least until they can get off all of the important citizens that the Imperium wants to save. So that's the story. We're going to go over deployment now straight away. And the way it's worked out, actually first I'm going to show you where the objectives are, because the way it worked is we alternated placing them after we set up the board with the terrain, and then we started placing them. So, what it does is you start alternating, starting with the player who's youngest. So Ian's younger than me, so he was started with placing the first one, and when you're playing Strike Force, you're placing 5 of them. So he ended up placing 3 of them. 1 has to go in each deployment zone, and then the others have to be in no man's land. And then after you do that, you place them back and forth, and then you choose deployment zone. So we have one that was placed back over here in a deployment zone over here. There's another one that was placed in over there, one over on this side, one dead center, and then one over on this side over there. And then they were placed. We rolled off. My opponent won the roll off, chose defender, chose that deployment zone. I chose this one, and then we deployed. Going over deployment now for the Astra Militarum. We've got a Manticore on this side. We got a tank commander over in the center here with a bunch of heavy bolters and a battle cannon. We've got the Wyvern on this side along with an infantry squad. We've got the Bulgrin up front over here ready to charge towards the center. We've got the squadron of exterminators over here. We then have the tank commander over here. He's got a las cannon, multi-meltas, and a battle cannon. We've got 2 squads of infantry ready to jump onto that objective over there, along with a company commander. And then we have the Vendetta over on this side. So that's deployment zone. That's deploying for the Astra Militarum. Everything's on the board. In fact, everything's on the board for both of us, because when we saw that special rule, we didn't feel like rolling to get reserves in. So goes to show you, makes it interesting. Things can change up with this, which is fun. My opponent has his Ravagers over on this side over here. We've got the 2 Exocrines over on this side. We've got this is the 5-man squad of warriors back over here. We've got the 9-man squad of warriors over there. We have Maliceptor, got it right. Got those bug names right. We've got the Hive Tyrant on foot right in front of him. We've got the Tyrant Guard back over here, protecting both of the Hive Guards. We've got the Hive Tyrants. So we got the Flyrant over here, and then we got the Footrint. That's not really a thing. We got the Neurothrope and the Malanthrope, the Neurothropes and the Malanthrope over on this side over here. Zoanthropes over on this side. We've got the Hormagaunts ready to try to run up onto that objective as well, along with the Parasite of Mortrex over on this side. And we've got the other squad of warriors back over here. So that is the deployment. So we will now roll off to see who will have initiative going into turn number 1. So we will roll off, and the winner has it. So same in here like anyone else. The winner goes first. I rolled a 1, my opponent rolled a 4, so it will be Tyranids going first. So we'll come back to you with his objectives being drawn. All right, so we will now draw 3. He will now draw 3 cards. These will be his active secondary objectives. So the first one, Raise Banner. If, when this secondary mission is generated, there are no infantry units or units with the objective secured ability remaining in your army, discard this secondary mission and generate a new one. The secondary mission is achieved when a unit from your army completes the Raise Banner action. See below. One unit from your army that has either the infantry keyword or the objective secured ability can start to perform this action at the end of your movement phase, if it is within range of an objective marker in no man's land that you control. This action is completed at the end of your turn, provided the unit performing it is still within range of the same objective marker. So he has to try to raise a banner. You have to perform that action on an objective in no man's land with an infantry unit or an objective secured unit in order for you to get it. So, pretty cool. Number 2, Area Denial. This secondary mission is achieved at the end of your turn if you have one or more units from your army wholly within a certain range of the center of the battlefield, and there are no enemy units within the same range of the center of the battlefield. That range depends on the battle size as follows. Incursion 9 inches, strike force is 12 inches. This secondary mission cannot be achieved during the first battle round. If you generate this secondary mission during the first battle round, generate a new secondary mission and shuffle this one back into your secondary mission. Okay, so we'll shuffle that back in a second. So, but now we get to go to the next one. Grind them down. While this secondary mission is active, keep an attrition tally for both players. Add 1 to each player's attrition tally each time a unit from their opponent's army is destroyed. At the end of your opponent's next turn, or at the end of the battle, whichever happens first, compare the attrition tallies. If yours is higher than your opponent's, then this secondary mission is achieved. Otherwise, you must discard this secondary mission. Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. And then, so he's going to be trying to kill me more than I kill him. And then no prisoners. While this secondary mission is active, keep a kill tally. Each time an enemy model is destroyed, add a number of marks to your kill tally equal to the wounds characteristic of the destroyed model. A model can, if it is resurrected for any reason, i.e. was destroyed and subsequently returned to the battlefield, potentially have marks added to this tally several times, assuming it's resurrected and subsequently destroyed several times over. This secondary mission is achieved once your kill tally reaches a certain number, which depends on your battle size as follows. Incursion 15, strike force 30. If at the end of the battle, every model in your opponent's army has been destroyed, but your kill tally is not enough for you to your battle size to achieve this secondary mission, then the secondary mission is still achieved, but in this instance, you score 2 victory points instead of 5. All right, so that one I think stays active until you reach 30. So if you hit 30 before the end of the game, you'll score it and then you can discard it once you've scored it. But otherwise, it'll stay active until you decide to get rid of it or the end of the mission. So, all right, cool. So these are fun. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So those will be his secondary objectives here going into turn number 1. All right, movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn number 1. His Raveners kind of moved up onto the objective over here and started to do the raise banners action over here, trying to get himself some points. The Warriors also moved up over here. Oh, it's worth noting that my opponent has done something which is new for this edition with the Tyranids. He had the what's it called? The Synaptic Imperative. So each of the Synapse units have their own Synaptic Imperative. And you can pop it once per game during your command phase. And you choose, what's that? Once per battle round. Once per battle round. You choose one of them that they can do, and you can't double up. So if you choose the one, for instance, he has chosen the one for the Zoanthropes that he's done, and they're doing warp shielding, which means that all of his monsters have a 4-up invul save, and all of his non-monsters have a 5-up invul save. So he declares it at the beginning of the battle round. Everything in his army has that ability then for the rest for that battle round, and then at the beginning of the next battle round he'll choose another one. So he can't choose that one again. Can you do it if you have 2 units of them? Can you pop it from 2 different units, or is it just? You can only select it once. So you can only select that. So you get access to. Okay, yeah. So outside of a psychic power that lets you choose some other stuff, you get access to that Synaptic Imperative if you have one of those units, and you can only ever do it once per game. So he chose to do warp shielding this one. First turn to get him the invul saves there, which is pretty good, and then it will go there. So then you choose for each of them and you keep popping it, which is pretty fun. It's also worth noting my opponent is running as Leviathan, and the way it works with your Hive Fleet abilities is that you have one ability that you definitely have, and then you have a Hive Fleet adaptation ability. And for Leviathan, their main one is that all of the monsters have transhuman, essentially, so you can't wound them on anything less than a 4. and all of the lesser non-monster units have like mini transhuman, so they can only be they can't be wounded on 2s. So even if I shot one of his Hormagaunts in the face with a las cannon, got to get a 3 to wound him, which is pretty cool. But then you have a secondary thing, which what was the one for theirs was you can reroll 1 wound roll or 1 hit roll, I think, something like that. 1 hit roll or 1 wound roll when you attack. You can reroll one of them, but it also gives you the ability to exchange that ability for a different one. So there's 3 different tables. There's the feed, there's the lurk, and there's the hunt tables. And they have a whole list of different abilities that you can choose from, that you can switch out that second chapter tactic, essentially part of your chapter tactic, to change it out, that you, depending upon what your opponent is that you're facing, because you don't decide that until you know your opponent. So if you're facing off against, you know, if you're facing off against like a whole bunch of guardsmen, you see a bunch of like just bodies, guards bodies on there, you're probably not going to worry about re-rolling 1 hit when you're facing off against them. So you might want to exchange it for something else on one of the other tables, which is pretty fun. It's a cool new mechanic that they've got for here, and it works really thematically with NIDS, where it's like they've adapted to the enemy that they're coming for. That's what they always do. So pretty fun. Anyway, back to the movement. I thought I wanted to say that when I saw this and saw the synaptic powers there. So, yeah, so then the warriors also moved over here, trying to hold on to that objective here. The exocrines have kind of moved up, touching terrain here so they can get some line of sight. The Maleceptor has moved up. Everything's kind of like shuffling forward over here. The Tyrant Guard and the Foot Tyrant, the walking tyrant, whatever it is, made their way up behind the warriors, who advanced. Didn't advance very far. I think they got like a 1 or something like that, but it got them a little bit at least forward there. These guys also advanced 1 inch to get to the other side of the barricades over here, but the Zoanthrope stayed back there on the objective, holding on to that one. These warriors did advance as well up over this way, and then the Hormagaunts, actually, he spent 1 CP to allow them to move and advance a flat 6, and they can still charge. They can still charge after having done so. So that's pretty cool. And it's like, if they're less than 15, it's 1 CP. More than 15, it's 2 CP. So they've advanced 6 inches, but they had like a base move of 11 or something? 10. Base move 10, advanced 6, so they move 16 inches, and they can still charge. And could you imagine 30 of them just like getting in there and just like tearing apart screens and stuff like that? Pretty fun. And then the Parasite has like a base move of like 14 or 16 or something like that. So he just zoom, zoom, zoom along with them up over here. So pretty fun, pretty cool. So that's going to be, oh, and the Flyrant also jumped up here because that's what he does. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to, oh, it should be noted, the Flyrant over here, the way they've worked it out now with the weapons, they've based it upon the kit. So you're just going to have the 1 set of weapons that you can choose from. So he's actually going to be running the Relic Bone Sword and that Chain Whip. Bone Sword and Lash Whip that the big monsters can have. So he's going to have that. So that's going to be it for the movement phase, and all bunch of information too. But that's what you get with a new codex. Got to figure it all out. So that's going to be the movement phase. So we'll come back to you with the psychic phase. So starting off, the Hive Tyrant there is going to cast Catalyst onto his warriors over there. Getting off with a 7. Now his Flyrant over here is going to cast Paroxysm onto my tank commander over here. That will go off with a 7. I should mention the Catalyst is still the Feel No Pain, so he's still got that one. And then Paroxysm is no Overwatch, cannot set to defend, and you're -1 to damage. -1 to wound in close combat, so pretty good. And now he is going to cast Smite into the same tank commander there. That, woo, with an 11, D6 mortal wounds here. That is 3 mortal wounds. Another Neurothrope is going to cast Onslaught onto these guys over here, essentially giving them the ability to move and shoot heavy weapons without penalty, or advance and shoot assault weapons without penalty, and they can advance and charge if they were going to. I don't think they have anyone to charge here, but that's what they're going to get, so he can do that. He also gets +1 to cast because he's a big old brain on that flies. So that will go off on a 7, because it's 4 + 2 + 1 is 7. He used. All right, so now his Zoanthropes are going to cast Smite, and it's going to catch my tank commander up there because of my great positioning. So the way they work is, so he rolled a 6. When they're casting Smite or any other Witchfire, they get +3 or +1 to the cast for each model in that unit. So he has a 3-man unit, so that will become a 9, which obviously passes for smite. He was looking for, I think, 6 now since that was the second one. And the damage done to it will be +1 to the mortal wounds given out for every model in the unit to a maximum of 3. So he'll have D3 +3 damage to my guy there. Getting the 2, so that'll be 5 damage. Real good. So now the Maleceptor is going to go psychically. It should be noted that his Neurothrope, Neurothrope, I got it right. The Neurothrope gave him an ability that he has where he gets to have +1 die when he casts. So he'll cast on 3d6 and take the 2 highest that he wants. Or no, take 2. He discard 1 of them. So I guess you could choose if you don't want to get like perils on double 6s. You could choose, that. But you'll get to choose 2. So you'll be casting on 3 dice, choosing 2. And he is going to now choose, what is he going to do?
Neuroparasite.
Neuroparasite onto my Bulgrin over here. What does that do again?
That is... if manifested, select 1 enemy unit within synaptic link range of this psyker, or 1 enemy unit within 18 inches of the psyker. Roll 1d6 for each model in that unit. For each roll that exceeds the model's toughness characteristic, that model's unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Okay, so it's going to roll, if he succeeds, he's going to roll a d6 for every model in that unit, and every roll that exceeds their toughness, in this case 5, so it'll be 6s that he needs, it'll do a mortal wound to them. So, pretty good. Let's see what happens. So he's going to have 3d6 that he's going to roll here. And choose, I imagine, the 6 and the 5, why not? So that's going to be 11 there, so that will go off. So now he rolls 6 dice, because there's 6 guys in that squad, looking for 6s, because he is, it has to exceed their toughness. So he does get 2, so he does 2 mortal wounds to them. And then he will cast Smite from him as well. 7 will go off, because he did it, this is the 3rd Smite that he's done. So D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound. Still have to kill him. All right, so we're going to start off the shooting phase with this warrior squad now. They're going to fire into my guardsmen over here. They are going to use the Death Spitters, so that, I think they all have Death Spitters, right? That's what it is. They all have Death Spitters. Going to fire in over here. And they're AP -2 now, which is pretty good. But he does not suffer the penalty for advancing and shooting because he gave them that ability. He also gave them reroll 1s to hit from the flying Hive Tyrant. The Hive Tyrant on foot gave it to the bigger squad of warriors over here. So these guys are going to be rerolling 1s to hit. So we're going to have, how many shots is it each?
3 each.
3 each. So it's going to be 12 shots coming into my guardsman squad over on this side. And these are going to be looking for hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Okay, got a couple 1s in there. And then there's 1 over there too. A couple 2s, rerolling those 1s. Alrighty, not bad. And then these are going to be looking for Strength 5. So looking for 3s to wound. Alrighty, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. AP -2 is going to go straight through their armor, so that's 5 dead guys. And now this squad of warriors is going to fire. They're going to fire the ones that have touched it, because we're playing this as obscuring. So the guys who have touched it on the other side, they're going to fire into my Bulgrin, and then the 3 heavy venom cannons are going to fire into my tank commander over on this side. I'm going to spend 1 CP on take cover with them, giving them +1 to their saves. So we're going to do the shot. We'll do the shots into them. How many is the 3 of them that had the?
Yes, it'll be 9.
9 shots coming into them. They're going to get +1 to hit from the Neurothrope, because he gave him a Warlord trait. He's also going to get reroll 1s to hit from the Foot Tyrant, and they got reroll 1s to wound from the, was it the Maleceptor? What gave him the reroll 1s to wound?
Prime.
Oh, from the Prime, the Prime. So these are going to be the shots into the Bulgrin, so they're going to be hitting on 2s now, right?
Well, they advanced. So
they advanced, so 3s, because they didn't have the power put onto them. So it's going to be hitting on 3s, because it's -1. Oh, no. Yeah, +1, -1. So it's going to be 3s. All right, rerolling. Nope, no 1s there, just a couple 2s, but not bad. And these are going to be strength 5. So looking for 4s to wound. Reroll 1s. Nope, nothing there. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I forgot my dice. And because they've got slab shields plus the 1 for take cover, I'm looking at a 3-up save for them with an AP -2. Failing 2 of them. What's the damage on these? Is it 1 or 2? Not these new weapons. Figuring out what they do.
No, 1 damage.
1 damage apiece. So they're going to be putting one guy down to 1 wound. And then the venom cannons are going to fire into my tank commander. Assault D3 each. So we got 3 D3 shots coming here. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. +1, -1. They are, even though they're heavy venom cannons, they are assault weapons. So it's going to be +1, -1. Looking for 3s to hit. Getting all hits. Pretty good there. Strength.
8 -3.
Strength 8. So looking for 4s to wound.
For the ones.
Goof. 4 wounds there. AP -3. So looking for 5-up saves since all Lehman Russes now have 2-up armor saves. Making none of them. What's the damage?
2 each.
2 each. So that's going to be 8 damage. Woof. And now the Hive Tyrant there has a relic venom cannon, heavy venom cannon. It's Salt 3, Strength 12, AP -5, 5 flat damage. Good gracious. He's going to be firing into my tank commander over here. So here we go. Hitting on 2s. That's going to be 3 hits there. Strength 12, so you're looking for 3s to wound. That is all wounds, which means he does 15 damage and would have just cleared him out anyway. Does he explode? Because AP -5, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have an info. So AP -5, so it's going to be, does he explode? No fill face there, so he's just dead. Now we're going to go to one of his exocrines here. He's going to fire into my Bullgrin. He gets D3 +6 shots here. So D3, that is going to be 1, so it's going to be 7 shots here. These are going to be hitting on... He did move his full movement, so they do get cover if they had it. But what is it?
Hit on 3s.
Hitting on 3s. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3 misses there. Then the 4 shots do hit. So these are strength, again, what is it? 8. So looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds. AP...
-4.
AP -4. +2 for the shields, +1 for take cover. So I'm looking at a 5-up save. I make 2 of them, and so that's just going to kill. What's the damage again? 3 flat. So it's going to kill 2 guys. And the next one's going to do the same thing. Oh, buddy, getting the 3 there. So that's going to be 9 shots coming in over here. Oh, moving the terrain. You're cheating, so I'm going to take the win there.
You get covered.
Yeah, I get covered now because of that. There we go. Hitting on 3s, right?
Yes.
Okay. So 3 misses there, so that's going to be 6 hits. These are wounding again on 3s, so strength 8. So that's going to be 3 wounds there. Yes. AP, we get a 5-up save, we figured out. Making 2 of them, so 1 is going to be dead. All right, that's going to be it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase. These Hormigons that he gave that ability that he spent the CP on are going to charge into my guardsmen over here. Both squads or just the one squad over there?
It's just 1.
You're just going to charge into the one squad?
Yeah.
Bigger squad? All right, so he's just going to charge into the bigger squad over here. So I am going to spend a CP to overwatch with them. So here come the las gun shots from them. Actually, I got one more from the las pistol. Hitting on 6s. Getting 1, 2, 3 fill faces there. They're tough 3.
Can't win them on 1s and 2s.
Oh, can't win on 1s and... Well, yeah, can't win on 1s and 2s, but they're tough 3, so looking for 4s to wound. Getting 1 wound there. AP nothing, because it's a flashlight.
5-up invul.
5-up invul. No, so 1 will be dead. And then I'll do a frag grenade. So 4 shots from the grenade launcher there. 6s. Getting 1. No wound there. So they need a 6-inch charge to get in. Oh, they'll be in with a 10. And then the Parasite is going to charge into my 5-man squad over here. She is going to make it with an 8. And then the Flying Hive Tyrant is also going to charge into my tank commander over here. I couldn't have overwatched even if I had saved it for it. That's why I kind of spent it earlier there. Going to be in with a 9. So we're going to start over here with the Hormigons. They are going to attack into my guardsmen. They got 1 attack each, and 5 of them are in range over here. So they're going to have 5 attacks hitting on 4s. Getting 4 hits.
I'm sorry.
Strength.
They have siding talent, so I think they might get.
I think I might get. And they are strength 3, so looking for 4s to wound. Okay, 1 wound. AP. -1. So looking for a 6-up save. Come on, guardsman, hold strong. No, the opposite. He did. So I'm going to interrupt over here because, I mean, I want to. So the 5-man squad that's left over there is going to attack. These are including the sergeant with his chainsword here. So hitting on 4s. Okay. And then wounding on tough 5, so 5s. Getting 1 wound. AP nothing, so 4-up save. No, he takes a wound. So now the parasite's going to attack back. We did notice that she's actually -1 to hit, but we didn't realize until now. So we're just going to keep going here because I don't think it's going to make much of a difference here. These are now going to be her 6 attacks with her claws that are going to come in here, hitting on 2s. Okay, all but 1 hit. Strength.
Which is 5.
Strength 5, which is the user strength there. So looking for 3s. That is going to be 5 wounds. That was a 3, right? Wasn't it? All right, so there was 5 wounds there, and they are AP -2, which means that they go straight through my armor. They did. Which is slightly disappointed because she has this cool thing where she can poke me with her tail and infect me, and I lose OBSEC, and like Ripper swarms can burst out of my chest. It's got like chest bursters going on here. Pretty fun. But you can't do it if they're dead. So got him! All right, so now his Flyrant over here is going to attack into my tank commander. He's got the Relic, Bone Sword, and Lash Whip over here. It's kind of interesting. The Relic, it does, you get like a plus, or with the tail on it, he gets to reroll 1 hit or 1 wound. He also gets to do a mortal wound in addition to any damage that gets done with the Bone Sword. And you cannot ignore the damage from that with anything. So, which is kind of interesting. So you can't ignore it with Feel No Pain. So pretty good over here. So, but he is going to be attacking into my guy over here. How many attacks do you have? 5 attacks from the Flyrant over here with the Bone Sword going into me. These are going to be, I imagine, hitting on 2s.
Hit on 2s.
Yep.
Strength +3/+1 because he has adrenal gland.
Yeah, so hitting on 2s, strength +3 plus an additional 1 for adrenal gland, so it's going to be strength +4.
10, 11.
11, so it's going to be wounding on 30. So hitting on 2s. Okay, so that's going to be all but 1 hit. I'm going to re-roll that with his tail. Into a hit, and then these are going to be wounding on 3s because strength 11. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 wounds. AP?
-4.
AP -4. So looking for 6-up saves because of the him having 2-up armor. All right, so that's going to be no saves there. What's the damage on these?
It is flat 3 and then...
flat 3 plus a mortal wound. So it's going to be 3 mortal wounds plus... He does have the Warlord trait that takes him -1 to damage, but or the tank ace ability, -1 to damage, but that doesn't matter. So he's going to be dead. Does he explode? No, he does not. He just dies. And then my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on Overrun, which will allow him to make a normal move now. Cannot advance with it, just a normal move. But he's going to go back there to the protection of his Hive Guard. So, or the Tyrant Guard, I should say. Sorry. So that is going to be that. And I think, oh no, I can get it to fight back. And now this unit over here is going to swing back into him. These are going to be hitting on, what are they going to be? Hitting on...
4.
Hitting on 4s. That's right. Hitting on 4s.
-1.
Oh, no. I'm putting everything into the Hormagaunts. Yep. Putting everything in the Hormagaunts. So hitting on 4s. No rerolls. All right. So that's going to be 4 hits. Wounding on 4s because tough 3. That is going to be 1 more. So you got your 1 save, sir.
You do it.
No, I killed a model. That's 2 models down. Woo! All right, and that's going to be it for the turn here for the Tyranids on turn 1. Woo! Woo! Oh, Nelly. That's pretty brutal. I do have a morale test to take over here, so these guys are going to be, they lost 4 of their friends over there, so 4 plus 3 is actually good to go because my Bonehead is still there, so they're good to go. But, scoring points here, my opponent... did get no prisoners because you had to score 30 wounds worth of models killed. He has, what is it, 12, 36, 46 that he has, 46, 47 wounds into me over there. So he's got no prisoners, so he's going to score 5 points for that. And he also got grind him down. We'll be at the end of my turn, so we'll see that. But he did score raise banners because that did go. So we got a total of 10 points at the end of his turn, which is pretty good. We'll come back to you after a movement phase for the Astra Militarum here on turn number 1. All right, now I get to choose my draw my cards for my first turn here. First one I did is Overwhelming Firepower. Whilst the secondary is active, keep an Overwhelming Firepower tally. Each time an enemy unit is destroyed by a ranged attack made by a model in your army, add 1 to your Overwhelming Firepower tally. This secondary mission is achieved once your Overwhelming Firepower tally reaches a certain number, which depends on your battle size, as follows. So we're doing Strike Force, so 3. If, when the secondary mission is first drawn for your battle size, your opponent has fewer than that number of units in the battlefield, including embarked transport units, but you destroy all your opponent's units in the battlefield with ranged attacks, then this battle mission is achieved, but you only score 2 instead of 5. So I got to kill 3 units with shooting to score 5 points there. I then got Investigate Site. Secondary mission is achieved when a unit from your army completes the Investigate Site action. 1 unit from your army can start to perform this action at the end of your movement phase if it is wholly within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. This action is completed at the end of your turn, provided the unit attempting it is still wholly within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield, and there are no enemy units, excluding aircraft, wholly within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. A unit has fewer than 5 models when this action is completed. It is still achieved, but but in this instance, you will only score 2 victory points instead of 5. Okay, so if I do it with a model with less than 5 models in the unit, I will only score 2 points instead of 5. Interesting. And then, no retreat, no surrender. This secondary mission is achieved at the end of your opponent's next turn or at the end of the battle, whichever happens first, provided all the following statements are true. No unit from your army failed a morale test during that battle round. No unit from your army made a fallback move during the battle round, and no unit from the army that started a normal move or an advanced move within range of an objective marker at the start of your turn in this battle round ended the move out of range of that objective marker. Okay, I think I'm actually, because I think I want to fall back over here so I can shoot these things. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 CP on changing orders. So it's the one that you get with this kind of mission thing. You spend a CP, you discard it, and then I can draw another one. So I'm going to do Bring It Down. This when this secondary mission is first generated, your opponent must identify the model from their army on the battlefield that has the highest wounds characteristic. If 2 or more models are tied, your opponent selects one of these models. The secondary mission is achieved when the identified model is destroyed. Note, the secondary model is achieved even if the identified model was destroyed and then subsequently resurrected for any reason. All right, so which one of your models has the most wounds?
Which one?
Which one of your models has the most wounds? We're going to figure that one out, and we'll come back to you, and we'll tell you after the movement phase. Movement phase for the Astra Militarum here on turn number 1. These guys fell back, but then their company commander gave them the order to get back in the fight. So they're going to get back in the fight, allow them to shoot, even though they fell back. These guys stood still where they were, as I like where they were positioned. These guys all stayed where they were, as did he. The Bullgrim moved, so they're within 6 inches of the center here, and they're going to start to do Investigate Sites, because his unit that is within 6 isn't wholly within 6, so that should be good enough for me, hopefully. And then he zoomed up over here, looking to get some shots down. We'll see what happens. We'll see. It's not looking great for Homestar Runner right now, but if I have a good turn, hopefully it'll get me right back into this game. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. So first things first, we're going to shoot with my Vendetta everything into his identified exocrine over here. So the exocrines were the highest wounds each. They got 15 each. These are going to go into his guy back over here. I am going to just shoot into him. My opponent is going to spend 1 CP on... what is it? Indomitable Monstrosity, which basically gives him transhuman there. So he's gonna we're gonna go with the twin las cannons. So there's gonna be 6 shots with las cannons here. These are gonna be hitting on 4s. Okay, pretty good there. That's gonna be 5 hits. These are gonna be wounded on 4s because of Hive Tendril, or because of Indomitable Monstrosity. Didn't actually, because I rolled 1s because I'm an idiot. All right, so that's going to be 3 wounds, sir. These are going to be AP minus 3. So he's going to have his 4 up in Vol Save because of the warp shielding that's gone up there with the Synapse Imperative there. Making 2 of them, so 1 will go through for D6 damage. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll that. of course, into a 1. And then he's got 2 heavy bolters as well. That is going to be 1 hit. Okay. Not a wound. These guys over here were given the get back in the fight order, so they're going to fire into his Hormigons. We're going to go with the las guns and las pistol first. Hitting on 4s. All right. And then wounding on 4s. That is going to be 3 wounds, sir. AP nothing. 5s? No, nothing there. So it's going to be 3 Hormigons. And then we're going to shoot him with a frag grenade. That's going to be 4 shots. On 4s. 1 hit. Not a wound. My company commander is going to toss a frag grenade into them. 5 shots over here. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, he's actually got a 3-up weapon skill, so that's going to be a ballistic skill. So that's going to be 5 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds into them. Making a boat. There you go. So now my Lehman Russ over here is going to fire his 3 heavy bolters into the squad over here. And then he's going to put his autocannons into the guy back there. So we're going to do the heavy bolters first. Hitting on 4s. That is going to be 5 hits. Strength 5, so these are going to be looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds at AP minus 1. So it's going to be still 5 up invul save on them, right? So 4 of them. 4. Yeah, those guys. Makes 2 of them, so 2 more will be dead. Grind Advance lets him fire twice, so he's going to put all 8 shots into him back over there. Hitting on 4s. Oh, that is real good. That is real good. He's tough 8?
Yes.
Yeah, so looking for 5s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 wounds into him over there. AP 1. AP minus 1, so it's going to be 3 up saves over here. Failed 1 of them, 2 damage. Next guy's going to do the exact same thing, so we'll do the heavy bolters first. Hitting on 4s. And then wounding on 3s. That's just going to be 2 wounds into them over here. AP minus 1, so still 5 ups, right? Because you got the impulse. Making both of them. And then we've got the autocannons. That's just going to be, just 3 hits. 5s to wound. That's just going to be the 1 wound. AP minus 1. Hurry up. He's good. So now my Wyvern's going to fire. He's going to fire his heavy bolter into this squad over here. And he's going to put his shard cannons into this guy over here. So we're going to do the heavy bolter. Hitting on 4s. That's going to be 2 hits. 3s. That's 2 wounds. 5 up invuls. Making 1. So 1 more will be dead. And then if firing his main guns into the parasite over there. So it's going to be 46 shots. I chose where I can reroll one of these. Okay, of course I roll it into worse. So that's going to be 9 plus 5 is going to be 14 shots. So it's going to be 14 shots into him. He is minus 1 to hit, so these are going to be hitting on 5s. Alrighty, so I got 1, 2, 3 into him over there. Wounding on 5s. Rerolling because of the weapon. Getting 1 wound there. AP nothing. 1 second. 4 up save. No, takes 1. My third Lehman Russ over here is going to fire heavy bolters into them. Main guns into him. So we're going to go with the heavy bolters first. These are going to be, again, hitting on 4s. Okay. He should have been teaching firing lessons to his friends over there. Wounding on 3s. Oh, if only he didn't have Nerf weapons. Oh, buddy. 2? 2 5-ups. Makes 1, fails 1, so he's got 1 guy left. And then the autogun's into him over here, hitting on 5s because he is minus 1 to hit. Okay, he's really good at hitting. Let's see if he can wound better. Strength 7, so 3s to wound. Wait, no, he's synapse, right?
Yeah.
So 4s to wound because of Leviathan. That is going to be 3 wounds, AP minus 1. 4 up invul anyway because of the thing. So 4s. Making all of them. Ooh, he's good. And now my Manticore is going to fire into the back guy over there, the guy that I'm targeting over there. It's going to have 2d6 shots. I'm going to reroll that 1 because of my ability with my thing. So it's going to be 8 shots. All right, 8 shots hitting on 4s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Strength 10, but he's got the transhuman on, so looking for 4s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound. AP minus 2, so he's got a 4 up save. No, that's going to go through, so that's going to be 3 damage because I gave him full payload. All right, that's going to be it for the Astra Militarum. I did score 2 points because this went off because this unit over here is not wholly within 6. So I only get 2 points though because there's only 2 models in it. He is fearless because of Synapse, so he's good to go right over there. So that's going to be it for the Astra Militarum. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn number 2. He's actually out of, so they've changed Synapse now for fearless, but you have to be within 6 inches. So he's out of that, but my opponent's going to spend 2 CP to auto pass. And it also should be noted that he did score, was it Grind Them Down? Because it's at that finished at the end of my turn. He had 3 units killed. I only killed 0. So he did score that for another 5 points there as well. All right, so now going into my opponent's turn here. He did score 10 points for the primary because he controls an objective and controls more than me. And now he's going to be drawing cards. We actually draw the first one accidentally here. So we got no retreat, no surrender. So he cannot fall back, cannot fail a morale test. And if he starts a normal or an advanced move from an objective, he cannot leave that objective with that unit. And if he does so at the end of my turn, he will score as achieved at the end of your opponent's next turn. So at the end of my turn, he'll score 5 points for that. So that's the first one there. We then have your second one that you do. So you drop to 3. Bring it down. I think the most wounds is probably going to be one of my Lehman Russes. I'm going to choose the back one just to make it be a jerk. And then, so he's got to try to kill that one. And then the next one is going to be Battlefield Supremacy. Oh, no. This guy's actually probably the most. I think he's got 14 wounds. So I think he might be the target there. And then Battlefield Supremacy is achieved at the end of your turn if you control 3 or more objective markers and you also control more objective markers than your opponent. If you only have one or 2 units remaining in your army, then the secondary mission is instead achieved at the end of your turn if all remaining units from your army are within range of different objective markers that you control. And you also control more objective markers than your opponent. But in this instance, you only score 2 instead of 5. So he's got to hold 3. He currently holds 3. So if he's not moving away from objectives, he will score those points. And he will also get the Battlefield Supremacy, which is pretty good. So we'll come back to you after the movement phase. All right. Movement phase here for turn 2 Tyranids. We've got his warriors over here advanced onto the objective. The Harmagant stayed on the objective over on this side. These guys have just strung out here to give some protection to the Zoanthrope is getting protected by the Neurothropes. How did I get back up? Dang it! Backwards. All right. The Zoanthropes are protecting the Neurothrope, who also moved up there, but still on the objective back over there. The warriors are kind of coming here. The ones on top here are actually underneath over there. It just makes it easier for us to see up on top here. So, you know, looking good for camera is what we wanted to do so we could see it. His foot tyrant is moving around there over there with his relic gun that's just going to try to destroy Lehman Russes, let's be honest. And this tyrant guard are advancing behind him to try to keep up. I'm like, slow down, boss. We're trying to keep up. We've got the Malceptor who's moving around over there, going to be doing his business as well. The Flying Hive Tyrant moved over this way, looking to hopefully finish this off if the shooting doesn't do it. These guys stood still, correct? Yes. Yeah, these guys stood still, and these guys back over here kind of like the warriors shifted around, but the Raveners stayed back over on the objective because he did not want to lose the no retreat, no surrender. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. Oh, no, I lied. We do have one thing over here. His the Parasite moved over this way, and when he moved, he flew over that guard unit. And when he did so, my opponent spent, was it 1 or 2 CP? 1 CP for Enfolding Strike. And what you do is you choose one unit that you moved over, you roll a D6. On a 2 through 5, it does D3 mortal wounds, and and they become infected. And if he rolls a 6, it's flat 3 mortal wounds, and they become infected. So, let's see what happens on this roll. On the 6th, doing 3 mortal wounds to them, and they are infected. So they are infected now with his ability, which means they lose OBSEC, and on my command phase, they can do more mortal wounds to them again, which is pretty brutal, but that's 3 guys that are going to be dead there just straight up right now. So, brutal! Start off the psychic phase now. The Hive Tyrant is going to cast Catalyst onto his Exocrine back over here. That will go off on a second. And now he is going to smite into my Bulgrin over here. Looking for 5. No, it does not go off on a 4. And now the Flying Hive Tyrant is going to cast Paroxysm onto my Vendetta over here. That will go off with an 8. And then he's going to smite into my bird. That will go off on a 7, so D3 mortal wounds. Whoa. Oh, 3 mortal wounds, killer. And now these guys over here are going to cast Smite into the front Lehman Russ over there. That 6 plus 3 will go off as a 9. So that's going to be D3 plus 3 mortal wounds because of there still being 3 models there. Getting the 3, so that's 6 mortal wounds. And now the Maleceptor is going to go. He was given the ability to use 3d6 for casting. He's going to cast it Psychic Scream into my flyer over here. Okay, that does not go off on a 4. Okay. My opponent's actually going to spend a CP to re-roll that. Getting a 5? I don't think Psychic Scream does that on a 5. Nope, that does go off because it was I needed a 5, so it did get it on a 5 there. So it's going to be D3 mortal wounds into him over there. Getting the 1 mortal wound. And then he's going to smite. This is the 3rd smite, so we're looking for a 7. Does not get it on a 5. Okay, weird. So now the Tyranid Prime is going to start us off in the shooting phase, firing into my Bulgrin. I'm going to spend a CP on take cover here. So these are going to be hitting on 2s because he's a prime. 2 hits. Strength 5, so 4 is the wound. That is going to be one wound. AP minus 2 plus 3, so looking for a 3-up save. With the Filth Face, he's good. Woo! And now the big squad of warriors is going to fire. They're going to put the Death Spitters into my Bulgrin, and he's going to put the heavy venom cannons into my flyer over here. They can reroll 1s to wound from one of the Hive Tyrants. They can reroll 1s to wound from the... which one was the 1s to wound? Was from...
1s to hit from the Tyrant, 1s to wound from the Prime.
From the Prime, 1s to wound from the Prime, and plus 1 to hit from the Neurothrope, giving them over there. So, which one are we going to do first?
The Death Spitters.
Death Spitters are going to go into my guys over here first, so hitting on 2s because they didn't advance.
They're guidanced.
Alright. Rerolling them 1s. Okay, so, okay, well, not great... Great rerolls there, but that's fine. Everything else went very well. All right, so looking for 4s, rerolling 1s. Okay, reroll those 1s in there. This is 4 1s or so. All right. With the rerolls. Okay. Getting, what is that? So it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wounds. All right, so that's going to be 11 wounds. Looking for 3-up saves. I failed 1, 2, 3 of them. What is it, 2 damage apiece?
Just 1 damage.
1 damage apiece, so that's going to kill a guy. And then the venom cannon's into my flyer, 3d3 shots. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots coming in over here. Hitting on 3s because he's -1 to hit since he's a flyer. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3 hits. Oh, rerolling 1s, that's right. Forgot about that, rerolling the 1s. All right, getting another hit there, so it's going to be 4 total hits. These are strength... 8. So looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds.
Reroll 1s.
Rerolling 1s. Okay, so that's going to be 4 wounds. AP -3. So looking for 6-up saves. Show me them Filth Faces. Getting none. 2 flats. So that's going to be an additional 8 damage. He's still alive, but he is very hurt. And now his tyrant on the foot there is going to fire his what is it, gullet? Shard gullet into my manticore over here. So he's going to have 3 shots hitting on 2s, getting 2 hits. Going to spend a CP. You want to reroll that? Maybe once. And actually, Leviathan allows him to reroll 1 because he did this. That's the adaption one that we said that you could have changed on the thing. He just stuck with it just because it's the first time really holding onto the book. So he just went with that one. So he's going to reroll that 1 there. Okay, not meant to be, sir. So that's going to be 2. These are going to be strength 10, right? Something strength a lot. Strength 12. Wyverns are manticores are tough 6, so he is going to be looking for 2s to wound. Okay, just getting the 1, but AP -5. You're gonna spend a CP to reroll it. Yeah. Okay, gonna spend a CP to reroll that into a wound. So that's gonna be 2 that go through there for 10 damage, leaving him with 1 wound. Sorry, manticores are tough 7. They're tough 6, but he still got a 5 and a 6, so it definitely went through. So he's got 1 wound. And now the front exocrine over there is going to fire into my wounded Leman Russ in the front of here. So he's going to have D3 plus 6 shots. So it's going to be 8 shots total. All right, these are going to be hitting on 3s, right? 3s? Yeah. Okay. Reroll. No rerolls on this one.
1 explode.
1 explode for the 6. And we forgot to say that he did pop the synapse for the Tyranid Prime, which gave them that gave all units within 6 inches of a synapse creature are going to get exploding 6s, which is pretty good there. We forgot for the other one, so we just remembered now, so we're just moving on with it. These are going to be that was hits, so these are going to be wounding on strength 8, so 4s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. AP
-4.
-4, so looking for 6s. Fill faces. Getting 1 of them. Damage. Whoop. Damage 3. He's down to 3. All right, so then the second exocrine is going to fire into the guy over here. We did roll. I forgot to record. So he rolled a 1, so he's going to have a total of 7 shots into my wounded guy over there. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Okay, so that's going to be 2 misses there. These are now going to reroll 1 because of the Leviathan there. Okay, that's going to be a hit. These are now going to be strength 8, so looking for 4s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 wounds over there. 6s. No, nothing. So he is dead. Does he explode? No 6s. Good. This squad over here is going to fire their death spitters. 2 of them can see into my infantry unit over here. So he's going to be hitting on, they're -1 to hit because they advanced. So they'd be hitting on 4s. So that's going to be, you reroll 1, do you want for Leviathan? You're hitting on 4s, so. Or do you want to save it for a wound? Leviathan, they're reroll, because they're Leviathan.
No, right? Just keep it.
Just going to keep it? All right, so it's going to be 4 hits. These are strength, what is it, 5? So 3s to wound. All right, so now you're going to want to reroll 1. All right, that's going to be 4. That's 4 dead guys because it's the AP -2. The Ravagers now are going to fire into my Vendetta over here with the Death Spitters. So these are going to be hitting on 4s because of whatchamacallit, because of hard to hit. Yep. Alrighty, you can reroll 1 if you would wish. Right.
I'll save it for the wound.
He's going to save it for the wound. So he's got 4 hits here. Wound on 5s, right?
Yes.
Reroll 1 of those. No, not meant to be. So it's AP -2, right? So looking for a 5-up save. No, don't get it. Damage? 1 damage. All right, still alive. All right, that's going to be it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, the Parasite is going to charge into my 2 units over here, including my company commander. That is going to be 3 inches. We'll get him in. Warriors are going to charge into my lone Bulgrin over here. They are in with a 5. And then the Flyer Ant's going to charge into my Vendetta over here. It's got paroxysm, so I cannot overwatch. It's 5 inches, look at him. Yeah. So over here, everything is going to go from the Parasite into my company commander as a, that's what he's just going to put every attack into there. Because he was thinking about it, he's like hoping that these guys pass their morale test and then they can just suffer the consequences of being infected. So here we go. These are all the attacks into the company commander. Hitting on 2s. Ooh, okay. Reroll 1 because of Leviathan. Okay, that's a hit. These are now strength 5, so 3s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. AP something. right?
-2.
AP -2. Failed them both. So what's the damage?
1.
1 damage each. So he's still alive. And then you got the tail,
Yes.
right? And then here comes the tail attack. Hitting on a 2. That's a hit. Strength. Is it user? That's probably a 3.
It's
At least 3. It's +1. So looking for 3s. That's going to be a wound. AP -1 or something? Let me roll if it makes a difference. It does not. I rolled a 4. So it's going to be one damage?
Yeah.
Oh, plus a mortal wound, though, because you... Right?
Weapon successfully wounds an enemy unit, suffers 1 mortal wound in addition.
All right, so that will actually just kill him out right there with the 1 wound and then the mortal wound. He did. I am going to interrupt over here so my bonehead can actually smack something before he dies. So he's going to have 4 attacks here, hitting on 3s. That's going to be 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, strength 7. Oh, 4s because of them being synapse and getting the benefit of the Leviathan ability there. So it's still going to be 2 wounds there. AP -1. So these are going to be looking for 5 ups. Failing both, so that's 2 damage. It kills 1 warrior. There you go, bud. All right, so now all 8 of the warriors are going to attack back into him over here. 3 attacks each. They're going to be hitting on 2s because they still have the +1 to hit. They're rerolling 1s because they still got the reroll 1s to hit. And they're going to have reroll 1s to wound from the alpha there. Or no, prime, sorry. So hitting on 2s, rerolling those 1s. That one's cocked. Yeah, why don't you reroll that one, the cocked one there. There we go. And then reroll the 1s. Okay, so it's going to be all hits. These are now strength a bunch. Or strength +1 because they've all got bone swords. So these are going to be...
Sorry, +2.
+2, strength +2.
5, 6, 7. So
it's going to be 7, strength 7. So these are looking for 3s to wound. This is only a portion of the attacks too because they each got 3 attacks. So looking for 3s to wound, re-rolling 1s to wound. Oh, good thing. Got a bunch of 1s there. All right, pretty good. Then a couple 2s there. We'll come back. All right, it's AP -2, +2 because of the slab shield. 4 up saves. No, he did. And then the Flyerants attacking into my Vendetta. That's going to be hitting on 2s. Reroll 1 for Leviathan. Okay, that's going to be all hits. And then these are going to be strength...
I think it's 11.
Strength 11, so looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2 wounds. AP. 1. It doesn't matter what the AP is on it because he has the relic of Lash Whip and Bone Sword, and if he inflicts a wound, he also does a mortal wound. And I've only got 1 wound left, so he is going to be dead. Does he die? Does he explode? No, nothing there. And then my opponent spent a CP to run over this way after he had, or not run, just move over that way after he was done attacking. And then these guys are going to attack back. 4 attacks. Hitting on 5s. Ooh, 3 hits. There you go. Getting 1 wound. AP nothing, so 4 up save. No, he takes a wound. There you go. Getting some revenge action over there. And that's actually going to be the end of the Tyranid's turn here. I do have the morale test to take over here. They lost 7 guys, so 7 plus 5 is going to be running away. And on the 2, the rest of the unit flees as well. All right. We're never going to get to see what the infections do. Yeah, brutal turn again by the Tyranids there. They did kill my most wounded model, so they got 5 points for that. They also, what are the other ones? Yeah, so you got Battlefield Supremacy 2 because he controls 3 objectives and more than me. And you got the Bring It Down. And then the No Retreat's going to happen at the end of my turn. So we'll see how that goes. All right, speaking of which, we'll come back to you with the Astra Militarum turn here on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Astra Militarum here. Not a whole lot of movement. These guys kind of stayed still where they were. They shuffled around so they can get some shots off because I'm running out of things to shoot with. He stayed here. He did, with jury rig repairs, healed up 1 wound, so he's at 2. Still lowest bracket, but not great. But could be worse, but not by much. With him. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. I did not get any new cards because all my other ones were still active. So now we're going to go on to the shooting phase. I actually forgot that I had already done the investigate site, so I did have to draw 1 more card, which I draw assassination. 1 or more enemy characters. So secondary mission is achieved at the end of your turn if either of the following conditions is satisfied. One or more enemy character or warlord units were destroyed during this turn. All character or warlord units from your opponent's army roster have been destroyed during the battle. So I've just got to try to kill a character, which I think is going to be very difficult. Because I don't have any sniping units, and he's within range of a 3. Yeah. Oh, I got the one. Oh, no, I can do this. I think I can do it. I can do this. Sneaky character. All right, we're going to start off with this Leman Russ over here. He's going to fire his heavy bolters into the Parasite and the autocannons into his Exocrine back over there. So we're going to do the heavy bolters into the Parasite first. 4s to hit. All right. Ooh, that's real good. That's real good. So I like to see only 2 misses. Wounding on strength 5, toughness 5, right? So looking for 4s to wound. Yeah. And he's synapse, so it would only be 4 maximum. Ooh, pretty good there. So that's going to be 4 wounds there at AP -1. So he's going to have 4 5-up saves. Failing 2 of them, which means that he is dead. And then we've got the autocannons firing into him back over there. Hitting on 4s, because he's not. And these are looking for 5s to wound, right? Strength 7, toughness 8. So it's going to be 2 at AP -1.
3s.
Looking for 3s. Getting them both. He's going to fire his missile into him back over here. And he's going to fire his heavy bolter into, I don't know, into the warriors over here. So we're going to go do the missiles first. 2d6 shots. Rerolling this one because of my thing. Ooh, 12 shots. This is going to be good. Unfortunately, I'm hitting on 6s because he's so hurt. Fill faces. Getting 3, so better than average. There we go. I'll take that. Wounding on. He's not synapse, right? So he's gonna. I can't wound on 2, so it will be wounding on 3s because he does not have the CP to make him transhuman. That's gonna be 3 wounds. AP -2, so he's gonna have 4-up saves. Making all of them. Never mind. I got excited. And then the heavy bolter into the warriors. Not going to get any hits. All right, so he's going to, this guy, my Wyvern, is going to fire heavy bolters into the Hormigaunt, and then his main gun into the warriors over there. So we're going to do the heavy bolter first. Okay, that's going to be 1 hit. That is a wound, AP -1. So he's got his 5-up invul, right? Oh, no, that doesn't go.
So
yeah.
5-up save, now it's a
6-up save. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, you Hormigaunt jerk! And then the 4d6 shots from the main gun. Rerolling one of these. Okay, that's really good. That's going to be 17, 18 shots. These are going to be hitting on 4s. 5s to wound. Okay, that's going to be 3 wounds so far. Rerolling because that's what the gun does. Getting another 2 in there. So it's going to be a total of 5 wounds into them over there. AP nothing, so it's going to be 5. Is it 4-up saves they have? 5 4-ups. All right. Failing 2, so 1 will take 2 wounds. And then this infantry squad's going to fire into the warriors here. Do a crack grenade first. No hit there. And then the last weapons. 4s to hit. All right. And then 5s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. There's going to be 2 wounds into him. 2 4-ups. Making 1, failing 1. And then my Leman Russ here. Last one's going to fire 2 heavy bolters into the dang Hormigaunt who won't die. And everything else into the guys back over here. So we're going to go with the 2 heavy bolters into the Hormigaunt over there. 4s to hit. Okay. 3s to wound. Okay, that's 2 wounds. AP -1, so 2 6-ups. If you get boxcars, I am going to be livid, sir. Oh, he's finally dead. There we go. You go wherever they go. And then we got the heavy bolters into those guys. That's going to be 2 wounds, AP -1, so 2 5-ups. Making 1, failing 1, so 2 damage, so that'll kill the 1 guy. And then the 2 sets of shots from the autocannons, hitting on 4s, and then wounding on 3s. That's going to be 1 wound, AP -2. No, 1, AP -1. 1 second. Yep, AP -1, so looking for 5-ups. No, so 2 damage. All right, that's going to be the end of the turn for the Imperial Guard here. I did manage to get assassination for 5 points there, and that is about all I did. Oh no, I guess I got 2 units I killed with overwhelming firepower, so I got to get 1 more before I can finish off that one. So I got those kills in over there. My opponent did score 5 points for no retreat, no surrender, so he did get that. So we will come back to you with the Tyranid's turn here on turn number 3. All right, so at the beginning of the turn, my opponent for the primary mission did score 10 points. And now we're going to draw his 3 cards because he completed all of them. So we draw 3. So the first one is going to be Blood and Guts. While the secondary mission is active, keep a Blood and Guts tally each time an enemy unit is destroyed by a melee attack made by a model in your army. Add 1 each time an enemy unit is destroyed by melee. Add 1 to that. So he needs to kill 3 in melee for it to get to kill me there. And then the next one. So it's like overwhelming firepower. It's like the old ones, the old missions. Then we've got overwhelming firepower, so he's going to try to kill things while shooting. And then we've got investigate sites. So he does have a unit within 3 there, but that's all they're going to be able to do. But he does have more than 5 units models, so you can get the full 5 points for that one. So, all right, we'll come back to you after the movement phase. Movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn number 3. These guys advanced up over here. The Zoanthropes, no. Yeah, Zoanthropes. Zoanthropes advanced up over here, trying to roadblock my guys over there. These guys are going to start doing investigate sites. My opponent also activated the Maleceptor's synaptic. What is it? Synaptic something? Imperative. Synaptic imperative, allowing units who are doing actions to still shoot and not fail the action. If he was doing a psychic action, he could do a psychic action and cast psychic powers. And it also allows... What was the other one that it does? The other thing it does? So shoot if you're doing an action. Psychic powers, even though you're doing a psychic action...
I can advance if I advance or fall. Do an action if I advance or fall.
And do an action if you advance or fall back. So pretty fun, like that synaptic thing. It would be obviously in this situation, it's very useful because he gets to shoot with these guys even though they're doing that action for the points there. So that's pretty good there. The Hive Guard, the Tyrant Guard moved behind the building over there. These guys stayed on the objective over on this side. He dropped down back onto the objective there. The Maleceptor moved around the corner over on this side. The Flyrant went ham up over here, as did the Foot Tyrant. He ran up over this way, advanced up over this way. The Raveners advanced up over this way as well. The Exocrines kind of shuffled around the corner over this way. So he's touching that terrain, so he won't be the -1 to hit, shoot, which is good. And these guys stayed back on the objective. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so he is going, his Hive Tyrant over here is going to cast Catalyst, but the way he's going to do it is he's going to Synaptic over to the Prime, who's going to Synaptic it back to the Exocrine back over here. So he can cast it onto the Exocrine because he's not in range to do it just straight up, but he can just like bounce it with the Synapse back over to him, which is pretty good. So it's going to be looking for a what? 6. Going off with a Perils. Do you want to re-roll, sir, or are you going to hold off? Nope, so he's just going to take D3 mortal wounds, taking 2 mortal wounds. And now the Maleceptor is going to... Oh no, he's going to... Neural Parasite into my infantry squad over here.
7.
He's a 7 to go off. Gets a 6 and a 5 at 11. So it does go off. You roll a d6 for every model in the unit, right? And then anything that's above a 3, so 4 pluses, will do mortal wounds. So you get 10 guys in that squad. Nobody's lost yet. That's about to change, I'm sure. 4 pluses. Okay, not as many as I would have expected. 2. All right, 2 guys dead. All right. This Tyrant is now going to cast Onslaught onto the Foot Tyrant over here.
6.
He's a 6 to go off. Gets it with a 7. And now the Flyrant is going to cast Smite into my Wyvern over here. That will go off on a 7. D3. Doing 3. And then the Zoanthropes are going to cast Smite into my Leman Russ in the front over here. Ooh. That's going to be a 7, becomes a 10. So not quite Super Smite. So it's going to be D3 plus 3 because there's 3 models left in there. So 3 plus 3 is 6 damage into it. All right, so now his Maleceptor is going to be doing a psychic action that he has access to, which it'll cost 6, but it'll allow him to, all Hive Tendril units within 6 inches of him, any shooting attack against them will be -1 strength. So it's a psychic action of 6, but because he popped that synaptic protocol, not synaptic imperative, it means that he can still do a psychic action and do the psychic powers as well. So he does have the 3d6, right, for casting. You gave him the 3d6, so looking for 6. Does get it there. Good. Better than the 3d6s he was doing last turn. And now he's going to do Psychic Scream into my infantry over here. That will go off on an 8, and because it's more than 7, it does
3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds to it, and then Psychic Scream is what?
D3.
D3. So 3 plus 2, so 5 mortal wounds into them. Now he's going to smite into them. So this is an interesting. When we had it here, I only have 5 units left. So he can't actually do both Blood and Guts and Overwhelming Firepower. So he's kind of decided that shooting is the way to go because his unit, he has the ability to take out units now with shooting. But he was thinking about leaving them to shoot them, but he was looking at it and he's pretty sure he can finish off the at least 3 of the models that I have here with shooting. So he's just going to go ahead and smite into them with the Maleceptor. So 3d6 is going to get 8, so it's going to be D3 damage. D3 mortal wounds. Oh, D3 plus 3. Oh yeah, plus 3. They did. Yeah, the plus 3 damage to his to those like Witchfires is within 12 inches of him. So pretty good. All right, so now this warrior squad, because they can shoot because of the imperative, are going to fire their venom cannons into my Manticore, and they're going to fire the Death Spitters into my wounded Leman Russ over here. So we're going to do the venom cannons first. So 3d3 damage, 3d3 shots. So it's going to be 1. That's going to be 6, 7 shots. Hitting on 2s because he gave them the buff for +1 to hit, and they did not advance, obviously. So looking for 2s to hit. All right, re-rolling 1s because of one of the tyrants gave them the ability there. Nope, not meant to be. And then these are going to be strength 8, so looking for 3s to wound, re-rolling 1s because of the prime. Ooh, good thing you got the 1. Re-roll that 1. So that's going to be 3.
Leviathan.
Oh, Leviathan, re-roll 1. Okay, so that's going to be 4 that go through. AP minus 3 on these, right? Or is it 4?
Yes.
I do get 1/6, but not enough to save him. He is dead. Does he explode? No. Shard Gullet from him is going to fire into my Wyvern over here. Hitting on 2s.
Onslaught.
Onslaught. Yeah, because Onslaught he's going to win. Hitting on 2s. So that's going to be all hits there. Pretty good. And then wounding on 2s because his strength 12, toughness 6 on a Wyvern. So that's going to be all 1s. Going through 15 damage. He's dead. Does he explode? He does! D3 mortal wounds to him. Doing 3 mortal wounds to him. And I've got to see, I think he's over here too. Doing 2 mortal wounds to him. And into his foot tyrant as well. Oh, doing 3 damage. We actually forgot about the Death Spitters over here. Firing into my my thing over here. So these are going to be 3 shots each. We've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys here. Because I killed, I think, 1 or something like that. So it's going to be 15 shots that are going to be coming in to him over here. They are, again, +1 to hit, so they're going to be hitting on 2s, then wounding on 5s, re-rolling 1s for everything. So re-roll 1s to hit. There's another one in there. Pretty good. Alrighty. And then these are going to be wounding on 5s, re-rolling 1s. Oh, re-rolling 1s. Ooh, baby. That was what, 6. 10. AP minus 2, so looking for 4-up saves. Failing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the damage? 1. Oh, yeah, he's dead. Does he explode? Ah, he does. All right, I got to figure this one. All right, so he's within 6. He's taking 1. They're within 6. Taking 1. They're within 6. Taking 1. I'm obviously within 6. Taking 1. All right, here we go. The first guy here is going to go. He's going to spend a CP to give him exploding 6s. So he's going to fire into my guy over here with the exocrine. So it's going to be 6 plus D3 shots. 6 plus 3, so it's going to be 9 shots coming in here. Ooh, baby. This is a heck of a shoot and turn. Everything's going up. The Prometheum's going off. Everything's exploding. Hitting on 3s, right? No rerolls. One reroll because of Leviathan. And then there's a 2 here. So 1 explode, reroll in 1 because of Leviathan. Okay, that's going to be a hit. So these are now going to be strength, what is it? 8. So looking for 4s to wound. Oh, Nelly. So that's going to be 4 wounds over there. AP -4. So 6 up saves, fill faces. I made 2. All right. So that's how much damage? 6 damage total. So he's still alive with 5. Let's try it again. Okay, another 9 shots. Here we go. Hitting on 3s. Reroll 1 because... Oh, no, he doesn't get the fully 6s. But rerolling 1 because of Leviathan. Okay, not meant to be. So that's still going to be a bunch of hits there. 4s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. 2 6-ups. I need to make both of these or he's dead because it's 3 damage apiece, right?
Yes.
I made neither, so he's dead. Does he explode? No. And with that, the Astra Militarum have been wiped off. But hopefully, they were enough of a roadblock to allow the citizens of this world to escape off the planet as it gets consumed by the Hive Tendrils as they move in to consume all the biomass on this planet. So that was a ton of fun. I had a ton of fun playing with the cards. They were super interesting seeing how it went. It had kind of like changed your dynamic, what you were shooting at, what you were going for. It's the same thing as the Maelstrom cards. It was fun to get back to doing the Maelstrom cards. I always loved playing Maelstrom of War. It was always one of my favorite ways to play. And now with this, it really brings it into the 9th edition here, which is a lot of fun. And also incorporating the open war cards into it as well, I think makes for a really fun way to play it. And also a competitive way to play it. Like it's not just like it's not silly. It's a fun, competitive way to play the game. And you have to be creating lists that don't skew. You don't necessarily know exactly. You need to be able to do everything if you really want to compete with it. And then use your CP if you need to get out of certain secondaries if you don't want to go for them. But a ton of fun to play with that. It's also rad to see with the new codex for the Tyranids. So a lot of new going on here. New gameplay, new codex. A ton of fun. The Tyranids are in a very good place. I think they're going to be a lot of fun. They don't, as much as he kicked my butt 10 ways to Sunday, 7 ways to Sunday, I added extra days. There's like 3's day or something like that. Loki's day or something. I don't know. I'm adding extra days in there for the 10 ways to Sunday. But he did kick me pretty hard in the Tookus, but it didn't feel oppressive. It didn't feel overwhelming. Like there was things that like obviously like built up and it kind of like steamrolled after a bit, but it didn't feel oppressive like I used to have with like the buggy spam from the orcs or like that Harlequins seem to be doing right now. So it seems like Tyranids are going to be in a good place. It'll be interesting to see if the Leviathan, what's it called? Leviathan supplement. The supplement for the Leviathan, if that will be applicable. And if the Crusher Stampede will still be applicable. We didn't play with either of those in play. We wanted to just play with straight up out of the codex to see what it can do. And it'll be interesting to see which of those are going to be applicable. Because this is the first time I think that a army has had rules in one of those Warzone supplements before they got a new codex and then got the new codex. So it'll be interesting to see how they rule using that. And also to see what they're going to rule on a White Dwarf supplement being used that came out before the new codex came out. So it'll be interesting to see how it all goes and how they play that, because that could also go a long way in determining how it's gonna how difficult they're gonna be to handle. But to me, the codex itself feels strong, in a good place, but not like oppressive, which is what you want from a book. You want it to be that way. So it felt good. It felt fun. I think there's a lot of things you can do with it, and Tyranids, I think, they're back, baby. They're back. So I think Tyranid fans and Tyranid players should be very happy with this book. And I think all players should be happy with the Tempest of War cards, because I think they're going to be a lot of fun to play, and I think they're really going to add a new life back into a lot of match play games and stuff like that. So expect to see them a lot more on my channel because I had fun with them. All right, so I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Ian, and until next time, stay safe and have fun.